Happy Saturday to you college football fans. Thanks for joining me on an episode of Walk It Off with Chappy, giving you my Saturday picks. And again, we got to get this right. Last night, took a couple hits on Cincinnati, not covering the 6 points. Fresno, not covering the 9 points. Did hit on the over with USC and Colorado, although that didn't look promising after the first quarter. But here we go, Saturday picks. So, games to take. Illinois minus 6.5 at home against Purdue. The Illini are pissed about how they dropped things last week, and now they are going to be laser focused to take care of the business in front of them to punch their ticket to Indianapolis. So I like the Illini here against a Purdue team that has been inconsistent and struggling lately, especially on the defensive side. Tulane minus 1 at home against UCF. Some bad weather down there. I think that favors the Tulane offense. The three guys that they have running the football really well. Michael Pratt really doesn't make mistakes at quarterback. UCF is good. I picked them to win the AAC, and I think this could be a rematch in the title game, but the winner of this likely will host that title game. Georgia, slam dunk, minus 16 against Mississippi State on the road. Hearing those cowbells clanging. Look, Alabama beat Mississippi State by 24 points. They dominated them. Georgia is a much more dominant team than Alabama is right now. So if all the dogs have to do is lay 16, take that. Oregon minus 11 at home against Washington in a key Pac-12 race game, and also a key game where Oregon's going to need to impress the committee even more, and a dominant win over the Huskies will go a long way. Oregon is 15-2 in the last 17 games in this series, and the favorite is 8-2 against the number in the last 10 in this series. Bo Nix is playing out of his mind right now. That run game is top 5 in the country. They're aggressive on defense, and I think that they're good enough in the back end, especially with corners like Christian Gonzalez, but also Bennett Williams, who is a all-around safety. He can cover, but he can also come up and lay the lumber. So I like the Ducks in this spot, minus 11. My upsets, take Rice, plus 13 at Western Kentucky. I actually am going to call Rice to win outright. They win this and they're bowl eligible. So that's going to be important for them. I like the way that they played last week on national TV, the Owls that is. And Western Kentucky is kind of, I think, being overvalued. A lot of people putting a lot of emphasis on their offense, but Rice seems to show up in games like this on the defensive side, and their offense is getting better as well. So Owls get the upset in that one. Wake, they opened at plus 3. They're now a 3-point favorite at home, so a big swing there. You got to like Sam Hartman at home here. He has not lost 3 games in a row ever at quarterback, and him going against UNC's defense, I think that Wake scores last and gets that victory, upsetting the Tar Heels. Oklahoma State plus 1, an underdog at home against Iowa State, a one-win Iowa State in terms of the Big 12 standings. That is last place Iowa State going into Stillwater, and I know that Spencer Sanders' health is up in the air, but I got to believe that Mike Gundy's just going to rely on that run game and playing at home, trying to get things right again. I like the Pokes in this one. I was surprised that they were a home dog. By the way, the dog has beaten the spread 6 of the last 7 in this series, so take the Pokes there. Miami, a 1.5-point underdog on the road at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, even if they do have Jeff Sims, who's been hobbled by a foot injury, I would still take Miami here because they have the athletes, they have the better coaching right now, and say what you will about Mario Cristobal, but I think that this is a game where he's got to prove that he was the right hire and that this team has some functional parts. And Miami actually plays better and plays with more juice on the road. So going to Atlanta, I like the Canes in this one. By the way, the underdog has won 4 of the last 6, which again, Miami is. And then overs. I took 4 overs this week. So first of all, over 39.5 for Notre Dame and Navy. The series has had a total of games that are over 40 points the last 16 meetings. So if you're telling me all they got to do is beat that 39.5, hammer that because the last 16 have gone over that number in this series. Not to mention, many of them have gone over 55. In fact, 11 of the last 16 games have been a total of 55 points or more between the Irish and the midshipmen. So over 39.5 in that one. Kansas State and Baylor, 51.5. Take the over there. The over has hit in 4 of the last 5 in this series when it's played in Waco at beautiful McLean Stadium right there on the Brazos River. Plus, Baylor has hit the over in 7 of their 9 games this year. So I like the over in that one, 51.5. Over 65 for Texas and TCU. I was a little bit leery on calling the over on this one, but you've got 2 good offenses, especially in the second half. This could be a game that might go into extra frames, or we could see it be relatively close at halftime, and then, or low scoring I should say, and then these offenses start to blow up. I think being at night, they're going to be juiced for that. The crowd's really going to help them into that. And TCU, we know, has a really good offense, but their defense has given up a lot as well. And now you're facing a Quinn Ewers, Bijan Robinson, Xavier Worthy, Jatavion Sanders coming at you with that offensive firepower, plus the mind of Steve Sarkisian. I like the over in this one at 65. And then over 51, Florida State at Syracuse. Talking to some people, they were a little bit leery about this going over because Syracuse has been a little bit quiet offensively, but they score points under the roof there in what used to be known as the Carrier Dome. They play fast on that rug, but so does Florida State. Jordan Travis is having a really good season and kind of getting much overlooked by all the other great quarterback performances around the country, but I like Jordan Travis, and Florida State actually has playmakers once again at wide receiver, a couple good running backs, and I already mentioned Travis. And Syracuse, whether it's Garrett Schrader or whether it's Del Rio Wilson at quarterback, their receivers have been getting behind defenses this year, and then you got Sean Tucker out of the backfield as well. So if you're telling me to get above 51, I feel comfortable in that. So take the over 51 in Florida State Syracuse. So that's what we got, and it is chilly out here right now. My hands are getting a little bit cold. It's time to go get a DeBella's sub, nice and warm, grill it. Got some leftover chili and a great day of college football ahead. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you again to all our veterans and all those who serve and sacrifice for the things that we are blessed with. Very, very grateful for you. Very grateful for this great sport. And thank you for watching and listening. I'm Chappy. This is what I know. This is what I love.